You see me excited, Amir.
I'm always excited. Greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also share. Also subscribe. Again, you got to do all that. You have to like, share, and subscribe. Tours. We are still rolling to Sierra Leone, November 20th through December 3rd. November 20th through December 3rd. We are still rolling to Sierra Leone. I would love to have you guys join us. If you want to roll, come and roll. What was I going to say? Oh, citizenship. Citizenship is available right here. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify.
Is that
So,
passport? Is that passport about 10 years in length, like the U.S. passport? Or is it,
no, I
how
think
many?
this is 5 or 6. Oh, let me look. Hold on, let me
Okay,
look. It's 5.
okay.
Yeah, it's 5 years. Yeah, it's 5 years. So December 28th. So when I go to Sierra Leone in December of 2025 or November 2025, I will go and get it renewed. So there we go. Bam. Get your Sierra Leone passport, y'all. While it's hot. While it's hot. It's always gonna be hot, but come and come and get it. Your Sierra Leone passport. If you have that African ancestry DNA test results, you're eligible. So visit Danfo, Danfo. Let me pull up the site, Danfo, Danfo Africa, Danfo, Danfo Africa. Right now, formerly Cardi B, not to be confused with Cardi B. It's just Sierra Leone. It's just Sierra Leone. So visit Danfo, Danfo Africa, Danfo, Danfo Africa to learn more about what we got going as far as the tours. And then we're going to Nigeria next month. 3 weeks, y'all. 3 weeks. We are going to Nigeria. We are going to Nigeria here shortly in about 3 weeks for the Oshun Festival. Listen, if you want to roll, we still have some spots left. Again, if you want to roll, we still have some spots left. Come and roll with us. Again, go to Danfo, Danfo Africa, you guys. And then for the gear, today I got on the Africa is my everything shirt. I got on the Africa is my everything shirt. For the gear, please visit ilayamir.com. ilayamir.com for all the gear. Go to ilayamir.com and grab your shirts, posters, pillows, everything. Go there and grab it. Ilayamir, ILEAMIR dot Kadiatu. Or so Kadiatu, what are you? Senegalese or are you Gambian? So there it is, you guys. So we're gonna jump right into the topic. But first of all, listen, I have to do my whenever we have Fitzgerald Stevens on, you already know. You already know. We gotta remind them. You already know we gotta remind them. Hold on, Fitzgerald. What happened? What happened here, Fitzgerald? What happened?
I
Fitzgerald,
plead.
what happened here, Fitzgerald?
I plead the
What
fifth,
happened?
man. I pleed the fifth. This does not
Now,
have
don't plead the
anything.
fifth. You know what
This
happened,
does not
Fitzgerald.
have anything to do with the subject matter we're getting ready to discuss.
Fitzgerald Stevens,
Congratulations,
come on.
congratulations on your win. And
Who do we beat?
appreciate
Who
you.
do we beat?
Looking forward to seeing you guys defend it.
Who do we beat? Who do we beat, Fitzgerald? Who do we beat? Who's this team right here?
Hey, Dinas,
And it's
I need to ask you a question. Good
Fitzgerald.
afternoon,
No, no, no,
everyone.
no, Fitzgerald.
I need
You
to ask
haven't
you a
answered.
question.
You haven't answered my question,
No, no,
Fitzgerald.
I need to ask you a question.
Go
And
ahead.
I think the audience appreciate this.
Go ahead.
I'd ask Amir, why is Mr. Kevin Samuel, a deceased man, hated so much?
Why he gonna change? Hold on, Fitzgerald. We ain't there yet, Fitzgerald.
That's the subject of the show,
Fitzgerald,
Mr.
we
Mayor.
ain't there yet, Fitzgerald. We ain't there yet. We ain't there yet, Fitzgerald. Who are the national champions? The 2021 national champions, Fitzgerald. Who?
University of Georgia, the Bulldogs, are 2021 national champions of America.
And who do we beat, Fitzgerald? Who did we beat?
I've already said that, Mr. Mayor. We answered. You gave you a question. You're going to keep looping another question, man. There are people who have limited time to listen to this subject matter, and we can't spend it talking about something totally unrelated to it.
Okay. You make a good point. Okay. All right. Today's topic, Fitzgerald. Why do people hate, even in death, Fitzgerald? It's like Kevin Samuels is haunting people like Freddy Krueger. Why they can't sleep? They can't even sleep. Like they have nightmares of Kevin Samuel, Fitzgerald. And like when you mention Kevin Samuel, some people just snap. Fitzgerald, they just literally, Fitzgerald, they will snap on you. I've never seen a man celebrated the way he was celebrated when he passed away by people who were celebrating his death. Never. Listen, Fitzgerald, I think the black community celebrated his death more than they did, I don't know, Osama bin Laden. Any KKK member. I don't know. The list goes on, Fitzgerald. It's odd. It's very odd. But go ahead.
Did he lie about any of the contents they used? Did he lie?
Not that I know of. No.
Did he speak on subjects that needed to be heard?
Absolutely.
Was he deliberately trying to be vindictive?
No.
Was he? Did he really care about the state of black men and black women in this country, particularly?
Absolutely.
Was he exploitive?
No.
Okay. Was he rude?
If you were rude to him.
I'm just saying, was he rude in general?
No.
And rudeness can be subjective. Something you say to me could not necessarily be considered rude to me, but you say it to someone else, even with the same tone and the same words, it can be considered rude. Okay. Is it equal contempt with both male and female?
There are a lot of males that hated him, Fitzgerald.
Okay. Do we know the prime reason?
The reason I hear is because he was talking bad about the black woman. That's what I was told. He was shaming the black woman. That's what I was told.
I think and correct me if I'm wrong, I think one of his primary, did he promote unity with the black man and black woman?
He sure did, but for some reason that gets overlooked.
Did he seek to divide us as a people?
Absolutely not.
Okay. When he did he call people out on both sides of foolery?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you understand his positions?
Clearly.
Okay. Well, I can't say that. That goes to someone that goes with the individuals who seek to find offense. One thing I've learned, and you taught me this, Dynast, when I started my channel, because I used to really let some of the comments really get to me because I wasn't used to that type of attack, even especially when I know I had pure motives. But you taught me like that. In the spirit that you and I play in right here, you gotta have thick skin, because if you can't deal with criticism, you can't be not only successful, but you definitely won't be able to operate in this YouTube space because that's going to come. And sometimes the thing about it is that when it particularly makes a little bit hurtful because we're human beings just like anyone else, just like Kevin was and anything else. What makes it hurtful when you really believe that you're trying to be a benefit and you're still vehemently attacked. So you don't have the power and the will to push through that. I mean, you might as well just quit life. Not only this, but was he resolute in his conviction?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, then for those of you for those of the audience who may have thought this, and I'm gonna answer the question first, and Dynash, you follow after me. Um, Fitzgerald, did you listen to him? Did you agree with points that he was making? Did you see a crisis within the community that he was trying to reach? And did you see that he was a benefit or a hindrance? What the majority think? My thing is, for the majority thing, I believe he was a huge benefit. He had me looking at a lot of things some things that I knew, some things I didn't know, but there is an overall problem that did not seem to get addressed before he really was addressed the way he was. It's certainly not going to get it addressed on the big news formats. They're not going to look at that. They're going to devalue the problems that our community has and not offer solutions except doing the same old thing. And so I very much was a fan. I very and when he passed, it was a sad day. I hate we lost such a voice. So I definitely was much of a supporter in his work, and thank God through this forum of YouTube that we have a record, for what he did. We can go back and pull up various shows, and this content is gonna live on and live on and live on and live on, still benefiting people. So yes, I was very much a fan. What about you, Mr. Mayor? What's your position on the man?
No, I was a fan as well. I think he told some hard truths, and and the thing is, somebody in the chat was saying he wasn't as hard on the men as he was the women. That's not true. That's not true at all. That's not true. And in fact, he was harder on the men. He was harder on
Okay,
the men.
okay. Well, listen. Well, interesting report. If I'm pronouncing the name wrong, forgive me. Eldry, Eleri. The problem that Campbell Samuels died alone. He was not happily married and a strong relationship with a wife. Well, that's me. I mean, and Kevin chose to be alone. I know he made a reference that he could have been married to 6 months if he wanted to, and I believe that. But that with all due respect, that is a deflection of the topic we're talking about. We're saying why was he hated so much? I mean, why what was the position caused people to hate it? So is your logic stating that because he died alone, which millions of people do, both male and female, and he was not happily married? He had been married 2 times. Sometimes the divorce happened and marriage failed. I went through it. No, name doesn't define me as a person. And in a strong relationship with his wife. Many people who have wives right now don't have a strong relationship. They have a more of a business relationship, which is what marriage primarily is, if you want to look at it. So I don't see how that is relevant to the statement we're leaving right now. We're discussing right now. The main thing, what we're trying to find out is why, and then we have these ideas, but that goes to an individual person. But being we can't really codify the exact reasons why, because various people for various reasons have various points of views. Then we have to switch it to what about his body of work? Did his body of work help the community, or did it not? And incidentally, the community was not only black people, ladies and gentlemen. He had several followers from many of the different races with men, from Arabic to Latino to Asian, all over the world. Man, his reach was just that bold. His audience was primarily black men, black women. Particularly as he started concentrating more so on the black women, but he had a global audience, a global appeal. I heard there was this one YouTuber that I listened to, Prince. The man's name is Matt, and he runs a YouTube channel, very successful YouTube channel called 33 Secrets, and he's in the manosphere. In manosphere. You know what? That man came out with the day after it happened. Oh, incidentally, he's a Caucasian brother. That man came out and actually gave tribute as far as to Mr. Samuels, talking about the content that he did, talking about the impact that he did, and so his work transcends colors, ladies and gentlemen. No, so it's and I remember there was he would bring the fire the fire to women of all races. If Caucasian lady came on the show, he'll light them up too. If he felt that things were out of pocket. Whatever race he was equal in his distribution of his content, regardless of the ethnicity of the people. So I think he did help. He certainly. I mean, the fact that we're sitting up here talking about him, then the fact that he's so controversial now, it states that he was effective. He was, at least he had his work invoke discussion and looking at yourselves and see that he was. I think what it was the first 5 years he was really down on black men, right, and rightfully so.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
he led into us too. And then later he started pointing out the things of black women. And once again, he stuck to the group that he primarily went to, that he primarily knew. And so his thing with his work is above repute. I think where the controversy comes in, Prince, is his delivery, how he delivered his message. And some things you can't play nice with. Some facts and some things that goes on the table. The facts are not going to be so nice. I did a show on my channel called the presence and the voice of a father, and I spoke about what the lack of fatherhood and lack of having a father in your a child's life, the detriment could come. I think the stats was horrendous. You guys can go on my channel, find ways to win Fitzgerald Stevens, and look at that views. But those words, in my opinion, those were stats about the benefits the benefits of having a father in the house and having a voice of a father, not a father just sits by and doesn't impart, but a father who actively has his hands on his life, on that child's life. Even single fathers like Prince Amir, actively being involved in that child's life, the difference that it makes to keep them out of criminality or keep them out of slow mental development. And this was applicable to both girls and boys. With the father matters. Now subsequently we know that a lot in our community are being raised by households headed by mothers, and we're seeing a lot of for the most part, the disastrous consequences of that father not being active in that child's life for whatever reason. But when he would bring stats up like that, I mean, I don't see where he lied. And incidentally, when people talk about high value men, we need to read it. We need to probably look at high value men more so. Is high value men known by his height, his checkbook, his penis size? Any other thing that people want to throw out there, is that high value? Or is a high value man known as a one that gets in there, makes the sacrifices necessary for him and his family to keep his house together, provide for his children, to cover his wife and protect his family? and to raise up wholesome children that can be a benefit for both the family and society. So it can't be in the checkbook. I mean, I was raised by a high value man. It wasn't a millionaire, but everything. But we knew we didn't lack anything long as this man was alive. And so we have to look at different things. A guy married by the same woman to the same woman, dang near close to 60 years. Yes, I was primarily raised by my grandfather, my mother's father. But I mean, the things were there. I mean, he had his own business. He was he had 15 children by one woman, his wife, and things that and he had inheritance and set around there. So to me, he was high as they come, and he still is. So we have to look at things. We have to look at things in a different eyes. So many times, dynasties seem to be a man is differentiate between a checkbook and what he brings to the table, and and as well as some parameters he should. And I looked at Mr. Samuels. He was judging that with a woman. Are you feminine, fit and feminine, among other things, and the statement that he would make is like men who are looking for wives, they don't really care about really for the most part your money. I mean that's what they want, your fitness, your femininity, and submission. As things but a man will take care of that. Now, am I an advocate of saying that a woman should have to work? And was he an advocate of saying no? But what he was saying, understand that if you wanted to formulate relationships, you want to marry, you want to have children, you want to get yourself, you might want to consider going into the dating pool, early, to lock a man down that you can grow with and build with, as opposed to getting after your career first, and then now you're late 30s and your 40s and you're trying to find someone. I mean, statistically it's harder there. That's what I would hear. No, that's what I would look at, and that's what I saw. Now I'm sorry, that's what I heard with him in this particular show. Okay, Dinesh, you got the baton.
Hey guys, do me a favor, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. If you'd like to call in, go ahead and call in. And I like to hear from the ladies. I like to hear from the ladies. I love for the I love for the ladies to call in. 7 good days. Thank you so much for the super chat. And once again, guys, please hit the like button. The documentary, we're finalizing the site, so that should be end of this week. Should be released finally end of this week or early next week. So here we go. He's in the spirit world, and you still beating drums. Why you are not bringing in solutions? Why give energy to someone you hate? Yeah, but guys, links in the chat room. Go ahead, Fitzgerald.
I mean, some of these comments on his dynamics are borderline damn insane. As far as like that, some of your audiences are not critical thinkers at all. They're emotional thinkers. They just think they could just say any dang thing without having without having any stats or facts to back it up. Just talk like dang children. I'm not even gonna give this person the credence right here. So we learn, we learn from history. And often, a lot of times, the people, the men and women who we study from history, are not necessarily still on this earth. But that don't mean that we can't learn from their text. That don't mean that.
Well, 1 second. Hey, Black Lion, you got to mute yourself, brother.
Oh, sorry.
And that don't mean that we can't have value. And certainly the name, one of the primary benefits of that is like you would like to have that spur you into action if that's a forum you like to live. But it is plenty of people out there that the man's teaching and message has improved the lives of that. It's plenty of people out there who is both men and women who are taking a look inward and saying, hey, we have to make a change to get a better outcome and better results, because we can't deny the state of the black family is not very good right now. So that's pretty much what I want to add, Dennis.
Okay, go ahead, Black Lion. Unmute yourself.
Oh, hey, thank you for letting me on the show. And I agree with mostly what Mr. Fitzgerald has been saying. He is absolutely spot on to what he was talking about. And what's so funny though, the truth is the fact that it was kind of ironic. He got all his knowledge of what he knows, or just being a man, of course. But he got everything from what he's been talking about from Shiraz Ali, a black woman who called the same dysfunctions within our community since the 80s. And she got the same ridicule for calling out the same issues in our community that's happening to this day. And the sad thing is, yes, he passed on, and it's sad. But my thing is, he died telling the truth. He died telling the truth. That still goes on to this day. And one thing he said, I think his last video on YouTube, and like he said, if black men can't tell you what to do and black women can't tell you what to do or tell you the truth, who can? He says for some odd reason, everybody of every culture knows what their roles are. They know what to do. They don't try to fight it. They don't try to deny it. They just accept it and just try to build it from there. The one thing about our community is we care more about the messenger than the message itself. And one thing he did, and one thing a lot of people kind of forget, he said modern women in general. He didn't care about race, but he noticed the modern women in our community have the most issues. But it was mostly the women in our community who are calling in the most. Yeah, he's also Hispanic, some Caucasians, even some Asians are one or two, but the majority were mostly for women from our community. Because what he said triggered the modern women in our community because they have the most issues. If you're a traditional feminine woman, or just a decent masculine man, just by nature and by way of your race, his message will not offend you whatsoever. You're like, I know all this. I'm not offended by this whatsoever. He's speaking the truth. But our community is so dysfunctional and so psychologically speaking held back. We're psychologically more backwards than ever before. It can't come off as offensive. And that's one thing he literally died. He pretty much, part of me feels like on his show, he was wasting his time. In my opinion, because the thing is, he was really taught. He's like the men, all the men, black and white, all the races. They all said, "Yeah, I agree. I'm not denying that. He's right. We'll just become better men." But only the women who were, from what I saw, only women who were married or traditional, they didn't deny what he said at all. They didn't question him. They didn't judge him. They said, "You're right." And they say, "I experience the same thing when I'm around these type of females, the modern women females." It's like the thing is, he may be gone, but the truth will always be there, regardless he's there or alive. Because just because he died does not necessarily mean that the issues are pretty much saying like the way. How can I explain this?
No, that's a perfect point, brother. Keep going.
Thank you. No, thank you. But yeah, just because he's gone does not mean the issues that means the modern woman can literally
his body died, but the message will still live on. Die.
Hey, exactly. Let's pass to Afri. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Afri.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Hello, Miss Afri. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Your voice is coming in kind of low, at least on my end.
Okay, I'll speak up a little bit. Let me know if I am breaking up. So, Dynast, did everybody do their due diligence and actually research Kevin Samuels?
Yes, ma'am.
You did? Dynast, did you do that? The link that I provided to you on the last live, did you look at that? You didn't, right? So I'm actually going to leave and come back. And when you look at it, then I'll come back and speak. Thank you.
No. Go ahead and speak now since you're here. Go ahead and speak now. Fitzgerald is here. Go. Okay. Go ahead, Elijah.
Yes. The only problem with Kevin Samuels was 99.9% right true and correct. Kevin had the same problems that prophets, messengers, seers, and leaders of the Black community had. And that is, Black people hate one thing and one thing only, and that is the truth. And Kevin's problem was he told Black females the truth, but Black females live their life in a fantasy world. They have fantasy. Let me prove it right quick, and nobody can argue for 1 second. They have fantasy hair called weave. They have fantasy eyelashes that look like snuffleupagus sticking out. They have a fake means fantasy. They got a fake body. They go get a fake fantasy booty. They have a fantasy job that white men took from Black men to disempower them in the society so they couldn't take care of their family. So the Black female runs around with an inflated ego of they got a job that a Black man can't get. They have a big fat.
I disagree with that. I don't see. My thing is, I don't give white men that much power. I mean, if I don't have a job, that's my fault. Like, I'm not blaming another race another race or demographic of people for keeping me out of the keeping me out of the job market.
And you're right. You're right, because I understand where you're coming from as far as accountability, personal accountability and responsibility. Yeah. But there's a thing called social engineering. And in the 60s, when whites wanted to disempower Blacks, they shipped the jobs, the car manufacturing and factory jobs overseas to destroy Black men's ability to participate in the socioeconomic climate of America. It is a fact, and feminize the economy.
You're right. It is a fact, but I mean, as Black men, we should just step up and create our own jobs.
Right.
Then.
You're absolutely,
hold on for a second.
right,
Mr. Elijah, if that's you speaking, first of all, I thank you for the comment. But you have created a question in me that I want to answer directly to you.
Yes, sir.
To ask directly to you, and I appreciate your contribution. Hey, man, in your opinion, but why didn't it, when the discrimination happened, especially with the tearing down of family with the Welfare Act, the Lyndon Baines Johnson signed, you often hear me go back to that. Why did we go back to the things we were doing before integration? Building our own business, building our own community. Why did we just wholesale abandon that and then go over there and plead for jobs with GE, a Ford Motor Company, or Woolworth, or the hotel groups? Why didn't we just go back and just rent to what made us great? Our family's great, and be self-preserving. Why didn't we just go back to doing that? Owning our own farms and doing the stuff. Okay, we got the integration. So why did we wholesale abandon that? And I rest my voice.
Because I was born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. When I was a child, I remember looking out of the back window of a car and seeing the railroad tracks that used to bring goods and services into the number one economic area of Black America. So I got the last taste of that. God bless me to get the last taste of that. And so, to answer your question, when we were brought over here, we were robbed of our name, language, history, culture, economic, society, politics, mind, body, and soul. We were robbed of everything. We didn't have a culture. So culture is what establishes everything in a society. God puts it in the Bible like this: seek first the kingdom and all its right uses, and all these physical things will be established. And we never established, as slaves, we were never able to establish a deep sense of cultural love.
Okay, I gotta stop you, sir. I gotta stop you. Let
me make one more. Let me say two more. Let me say two more sentences, brother. And you can see the difference in what I just said. when every nationality comes here, they establish a Chinatown or a Koreatown or this town or that town. But we were robbed of that by being robbed of our history. Go ahead, brother.
Sir, then how do you
Yes, sir.
explain Greenwood, Archer, and Pine? Pine, the streets are made of.
I live there. I live there. I grew up there.
Then how do you explain that we had a mass land? We were working in businesses. This is coming out of slavery.
Yes, sir.
We did put those things together. They
Yes,
were
sir.
there.
Yes, sir.
They was,
Yes, sir.
so the culture was there. So how did So why did we
Yes, sir.
continue to keep building on that?
Yes, sir. I grew up in the same building of with Charlie Wilson. Grew up in on Pine and Peoria, the Y. Charlie Wilson, the head of the Gap Band. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I live what you're talking about. And what happened, the reason we were able to do that, because the same reason that 50 years later, after a murder happens 50 years ago, it can be solved, because nature and blood always attempt to reconnect with one another. And we were trying to, when we established the Greenwood District, we were trying to reconnect with the cultural greatness that had been stripped and robbed from us. But we weren't able to do it fully because white terrorism it's not white supremacy, because there's nothing supreme about white people. It's really white terrorism. And white terrorism had been placed in our minds to interfere with our full connection to our history and to our genetic lineage and to our divine nature and to our connection with God. And that's how the Bible opens up. In a code, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And there's a lot of light up there. And then the next sentence is, darkness is on the face of the deep. So we have darkness on the face of our ability to think deep and connect deep and be a deep people. But there are various attempts to reconnect, and a full connection is not being allowed to be made. But this is what Brother Dynast is trying to put back together, a full and complete connection. And that's why his show is so great. That's why I appreciate his show so much. That's why we all need to appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Hey, Pan African Capitalist, go ahead.
What's going on, brothers? Thank you for having me on the panel. Peace and blessings. So Kevin Samuels, right? I didn't know Kevin Samuels personally, but we did connect on social media. Just like, me and you, Dynast, we're Facebook friends on Facebook. I don't know you personally, but I have watched your content as well. And Kevin Samuels comes from the Black manosphere. Kevin Samuels, before he died, he told us that black men aren't copying what he says. He's copying what black men said. He said he talked to thousands of black men before he ever started talking to black women.
Right.
And so a lot of the triggering for Kevin Samuels, because he's revealing truth that a lot of black women don't want to hear. You have to realize social media, there was a point where black women almost had a monopoly on social media and media. When you look at the 80s and 90s, those daytime TV shows,
the Oprahization of our women.
Right. Oprah, the Oprahs, the Ricky Lakes, it was black women that were basically able to tell narratives about black men and give their side without black men having a response. So with the advent of YouTube, you started having more brothers telling their side of the story. And Kevin Samuels is the culmination of that, right? So he got a lot of stuff, talking points from the black manosphere interacting with us. But what Kevin Samuels had is he had a litany of soft skills, and he had a great image. So he was able to attract more people. He was able to deliver that message a lot better than a lot of the other content creators in that space. Because you got to realize, compared to that whole group, Kevin Samuels is considered quite mild, right? He's what we would call in politics like a moderate. There are guys that are way more left or right leaning and way more fiery than Kevin Samuels was. He was nice compared to the guys that's going to be coming behind him.
Right.
So I'll just say this last thing, right?
Yeah, and then after that, we're passing to Hustle Smart. But go ahead.
Last thing is the biggest thing that Kevin Samuels brought to the mainstream, and he said it on several public interviews, like with Joe Budden, is that a lot of people don't realize the culture of the Black American community is a gynocracy, right? So that means since slavery, with the exception of a small percentage of families, maybe free people of color families and some families, most of those households, even though we had 98% marriage, they were controlled by women, right? And so a lot of the issues that we have in the community is the fact is that we don't really have as much as the male input in our homes, in our communities. So, but I'll pass the mic.
Right.
I'll go ahead, Simple Leaf.
First things first, my brother, you know what I'm saying? I want to salute to you, and I want to salute to my other brother, you know what I'm saying? The esteemed Mr. Fitzgerald, you know what I'm saying? Salute to what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? I went on your website, I checked out your Danfo website. I saw a lot of good information about tours, about, past events, and, it's good things that we have brothers that's showing people a different way if they want to take the action. And of course it ain't free, you know what I'm saying? The same way it ain't free when you walk up in Best Buy, the same way it ain't free when you walk up in the Gucci store, the same way it ain't free when you go to any Massa's restaurant and when you want to take pictures of how much you donate with a tip and how much you paying for their service. So I think that we just need to support our own brothers the same way. Now, after we got all that shit out of the way, the second thing I want to address is the Snuffleupagus. Put some respect on his name. His name is Mr. Snuffleupagus, my brother. Mr.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I apologize, brother.
No problem. Now, and one thing you missed out on when you said the eyelashes, that what reminded me of the way these females rocking these eyelashes. They look like the eyelashes from Mr. Snuffleupagus. Ironic, right? Now, when we get down to the brass tacks of things, all it does is shows that how the black race is doomed. Now, not doomed as far as the love that you have. You get what I'm saying? You can have love for a abandoned car in the backyard. You can have love for a refrigerator that's on your front porch that you don't want to let go. But the problem is it sustaining you? The problem is the point is it helping you grow? And when you put the black race down on paper, we take it out your heart in quotes, and put the black race down on paper, point for point. And this is a question that I gave Mr. Fitzgerald a while back. Will the black race be something that you would invest your money in, not something that you like? You know what I'm saying? Because you got plenty of people that invest money in things that they don't like. You get what I'm saying? It's something that they don't believe in. But if it makes them money, they will invest in it. So when you come down to people like Kevin Samuels, with what he was doing, the reason why he was hated so much, because you had a lot of black women that are tired of listening to the bitter bitches. You get what I'm saying? Because in our community, it goes like this. It's more bitter women than it is happy women. It's more single women than it is married women. It's more dumb niggas than it is smart niggas. It's just the way that it is. So you get what I'm saying? But in our community, we give the dumbest, the bitterness, the single wig weed wearing wide hyena hood rat up in the twerk monkey from Southeast DC and these booger wolf bitches from Baltimore, we give them the most credit because they have the loudest voice. So what does that tell you about our people? We are popular, we are loud, but we have no power at all, and everybody knows that. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, they know that we'll jump ship. Black people, we've been jumping ship since Africa. You get what I'm saying? From the slave trade, we've been selling out each other for we have a sellout culture, and a lot of people just they brush over that. And you know, when it came to Kevin Samuels, you know what I'm saying? He came out with the point that he was talking to women. He had more women that wanted his help than women that would call and want to beat him down. So what did they do? Just like women, you know what I'm saying? They formed their own little sideshow bar things. Now, the difference between women and men is that women will support. Women will support a woman calling Kevin Samuels gay. You know what I'm saying? She can make $20,000 a day just saying that word. You know what I'm saying? Because women support. Black men don't support our black men. You know what I'm saying? What we do is, because most of us are raised up by single black women, we chase women. You know what I'm saying? We can all be living in a rat infested neighborhood, but we'll still be, me, you, Mr. Fitzgerald and Dynast will still be banging on each other, trying to impress a broke chick with some $3 leggings on. You get what I'm saying? We still would be trying to compete for the local hood rat, the glorified hood rat with the Metro phone and the Air Force Ones on. That's dirty. Got dirty shoelaces. Just to get some ass. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at as a people. That's why we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose because the only thing that excites us is get some ass. You know what I'm saying?
We're not gonna lose. We already lost, brother.
Well, I started that off with it. We're doomed. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We're doomed as a people. So the numbers, when I say we're going down, I mean that the numbers is going up to keep pushing us down. We always make this joke about white people. We'll sit up there, oh, he's stupid. Hold my beer. We're like that. We're like, oh shit, what happened this weekend? 5 people got shot. Man, hold my Air Jordan. Let me go kill 12 people. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes down to Kevin Samuel, it was like, who can just make him just the same insults, guilt, and the need to be right? That is one of the most truest statements. And one thing that I disagree about Kevin Samuel, he said that about women. No, men are the same way. The black men act like the hoes that raised them. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is that when it comes to the police will treat a black woman different than she'll treat a black man being emotional. Don't get me wrong. He'll still, the black woman will have to force him to put his hands on her. You get what I'm saying? The black man,
it's a different code.
It's a different code. So what I'm saying is you got black men that act emotional the same way. So therefore, when you had a show like Kevin Samuel, it just allowed black women to be more emotional than they already is. And so we have a group, so we have all this stuff. I can name 10 things that's against us. And the only thing that you can say that's for us, that we do stuff like feel good stuff. We got a whole lot of feel good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we have nothing to build. And the problem is from the slave plantation to building America, we did it on the behest and the whip and the belt and the tree and the rope of white people. You know what I'm saying? Black people didn't get together and say, we're going to build this nation. You know what I'm saying? The white people came up there with the ropes, the chains, the everything, and said, hey, it go to whip. Now you get to work. So all I'm saying is this. We are the emotions that and I'm glad I don't have that, because I'm not emotional at all. So that's why when I listen to black people talk, it makes me feel like I'm an alien, because I'm not an emotional person. And I don't think on emotional level. You can't call me a name and get me upset. Say, for instance, you owe me $100. If you threw that shit on the ground in the dirt, it would not hurt my feelings. As long as it's $100, Long as I can pick it up and dust it off and it's still worth $100, I don't care about the action. We got this weird thing called the principle. You know what I'm saying? To where we'll go kill somebody by putting mayonnaise on too much mayonnaise on a sub sandwich. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, with our emotions are so bad, when our emotions it blow up, just like women.
Brother Simp, I sorry to interject, but 30 more seconds. I want to pass the mask.
Go ahead. I'm finna bring it on home. Bring it on home.
Okay, bring it on.
For our emotions being so bad, once it erupts, 4 to 5 people life changes every time we erupt. Either somebody get killed, either somebody go to prison, either the kids have to get displaced or go to foster home. You know what I'm saying? And 9 out of 10, nothing happened to the woman, and she goes after the next supersized mega simp that just wants some ass. I pass the mic.
All right, go ahead, Mass Quasi. You know, we'll pass it back to you, Fitzgerald. Hold on, Fitzgerald. Anything you want to say, Fitzgerald? Or
no, you can hear me? I'm just enjoying listening to the panelists. You know.
All right, go ahead, Quasi.
Wow, that it's a lot. It's a lot going on as far as the black man in America and the manhood. You know, I think we use that term, and I don't know if we have seen a black man. Black masculinity has been attacked since day one. All right, since they brought us over there. Once they brought us over there, they had to get rid of the men. They have what's called the booty of war. And when you're conquered, what they do is they take your woman and they impregnate your women with their seed, not only physically, but mentally. So we're looking at something that took place many centuries before we were even born. And the results of it has been devastating. Our sisters have been through a lot. We've been through a lot. And going through all of this, we've been through an extermination process. And we're most definitely being exterminated in the US. And I think the most sinister aspect of it is that our enemy went from lynching and killing us and exterminating us to condition us on to doing that ourselves. So to bring back, in terms of our manhood and what needed to be done, for the few. I woke up this morning and I went through Yahoo and I seen a very disturbing article there about it was a transgendered that was incarcerated, and they put the transgender in a female prison, and he got two ladies locked up. Yeah. And I was like, this society that we live in is so mixed up. It's so crazy that we can have, not only that, I mean, we could just go do a list of the craziness that's going on in there, things that just don't make sense. They had the guy, he's a transgendered, he was like 150 ranking. He turned transgendered, going to women swimming. Now he's the #1 female swimmer. So they playing this game, and the black man, we come from a history of greatness, of knowledge that dates back antiquity. So we had to go to sleep for a while, but now we're waking up. Waking up in this process is going to take us to shed some knowledge and light on our situation. Most of us aren't going to be able to make the transition because, it's just a process. It's just something that has to take place, and we don't fault anybody where they are. However, I mean, we're definitely in a time where a lot more people are waking up than I could have ever anticipated. I was like before, we just finished and we're done. But a lot more people are waking up, but we have to use knowledge. So Kevin Samuels is someone who spoke about our sisters and what they were going through in their struggle. And of course, even now, we suffer the same thing. When we're married and we're in relationships and, we're trying to communicate with our wives and, and our spouses and our significant others. And, we're trying to say, hey, just have a mutual respect for me. I know we're working on things, but you don't have to treat me like I'm a child. You understand what I'm saying? But then we go into those situations mismatch because, we're doing things the way that was designed to destroy us. Okay. However, as Black men, we have the whole planet, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth is for the Black man. We're the original man, and we master that. So a portion of us are in situations.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Grab my son. Come on. We can't.
Yeah, we lost him. All right, Fitzgerald, you want to add to that, Fitzgerald, or anything you want to share?
Yeah, I'm listening, and I thank everyone for their contributions. But I want to steer to the original subject that we had, Dynast. Why is this man hated so? I mean, I think the other I think you guys put other opinion, but I just don't want to detract off the topic with that.
Okay.
That's where I want to go.
Okay.
The best answer for why, one of the best answers for why Kevin Samuels is hated so much was given by Crimson Cure. She said Kevin Samuels was not an effeminate brother, but he had a lot of feminine qualities which drew women in. But once the females got in, his strong, powerful masculine side came out, and he called them to accountability and responsibility, and that triggered them and ticked them off. And like one of the brothers was alluding to, for the past, since 1980, the media, what is that, 40, 20, that's 40 years. The media has been able to lynch the black male image, with Oprah being the poster child, and Oprah being the general of this psychological war and mass media war against the black male image. Oprah, Sally Jesse Raphael, Jerry Springer, and a long list of others. Long list of other ones have been able to bring on ghetto hood rats talking about, oh, you got me pregnant and don't want to take care of the kids. And Jerry Springer would have these shows. I'm 400 pounds, but I'm fine. And they would have these minstrel shows that would destroy the image of the black male. But they did not see the coming of what they weren't able to see the weaponry that had been put in the black man's hands, which we are now on right now, called the internet, where now black men are able to fire back and have responses to our psychological and media lynching of the past 40 years. And one person said it best: it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Hunting is fun, but it ain't fun when the rabbit gets the gun. And now with the internet,
hey,
and YouTube, the rabbit got the gun.
Yeah, let's pass it up. Go ahead, Cotty B. Cotty, y'all too. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to say something real quick about Kevin Samuels, not about the white man and all that, because I don't give energy to white people. I think that most women that dislike Kevin Samuels are, well, basically they don't want to take responsibility for their plight in life. I mean, when he talks to you and he asks you, well, you decided to be a single mother. You laid down with somebody who was not your husband. You chose that. Now you have to deal with the consequences. And I watched Kevin Samuels from time to time, whole shows, not clips, whole entire shows. And these women always want to point the finger at the man. Well, he got me pregnant. Well, were you not there that day? Like, did he take advantage of you. If he took advantage of you, that's a whole nother thing. But if you were compliant in this action, then you are culpable for what happened to you. And a lot of times women don't want to take the responsibility of that. You chose that. And you can't say, well, you need to talk about the man. First of all, the man's not here. I'm talking to you. Oh, shoot.
Right. Great point.
Sorry. The man is not
Great
here.
points.
I'm talking
Great
to
points.
you. You take responsibility for what happened to you. And a lot of times they just don't want to do it.
Preach.
Great points. Great points.
You muted, Dynast.
Hey, go ahead, Afri. Unmute yourself, Afri.
Okay, so I've come back, and one thing I'll say, I'll go ahead and play a longer segment, Samuel's on his show, okay? Just so that I can prove a point. But before I do that, I just feel like people on here are being disingenuous and they're not being honest. No one's upset about a man telling a woman that she should be traditional or submissive. I mean, I suppose the women who refuse to do that are upset about that. The women who choose to do that, we're not upset about that. That's not the reason why we disliked Kevin Samuels. As I stated in the last live, we disliked Kevin Samuels because he degraded us as Black women. And whenever, for some odd reason, when you bring that up, and even when you provide evidence, men still don't want to believe that Kevin Samuels was just this terrible person. They want to believe that he was just...
That's not true. He didn't degrade women.
Okay, no problem. I'll go ahead and play the clip. Well, it's not even the clip. It's actually a little over 15 minutes long.
No, we're not. Afri, we're not listening to a 15-minute.
Really?
We're not
Okay.
listening to a 15.
Can you drop it in a chat or something like that so people can...
Actually, no, but see, you asked me to play you evidence.
But today we're not listening to a 15-minute.
Not to mention, he can't play somebody else's content on his channel for 15 whole minutes.
This is not somebody else's content. This is
Kevin Samuels' content. It's somebody else's content.
But
can you quote?
Anyway,
can you quote what he said? What did he say?
You can't strike it.
Oh Lord.
the whole thing is like, I'm confused now. So do y'all want evidence or no?
Yeah,
we
just
don't want you to play a 15-minute video. That's all.
We heard the clip. Okay, that okay. Now, if you're gonna rock and roll like that, then take some of the other clips that he did. Take the totality of the thing like that. Okay.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to tell you, it is the totality.
What was the clip about? That's the totality. All this body of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
she hadn't said what he said. I don't hear nothing disrespectful he said.
She said not one word.
Not one word.
With the clip that was shown yesterday, okay, the man's words was wrong. Okay, it was wrong. It was wrong for him to say that.
What did he say, brother?
Thank you, Fitzgerald.
Well,
what did he say?
What did he say? Like, what is it?
Whoa. Let Fitzgerald finish. One mic. Go ahead, Fitzgerald.
I listened to the show yesterday, and actually, I called Prince Amir and said the lady got a point. My words to Prince Amir is that with you, Miss Alfrey, I said, you know what, she put you in checkmate, man. That was my words to him right after the phone calls that we often have off of that. I said the man did say that he was wrong for saying that, but does that negate his total body of work? Is that all his work right there?
So what you're saying is that
please don't put words in my mouth. Okay, I'm saying what I want to say. But my question to you, okay, I admit to you that was wrong. I admitted to Prince Amir when we discussed. He was wrong for saying that. Okay, great. But now we're talking about it. Now, is there other parts of his body of work that is negated because he made that one statement?
Can I ask you a question? Because somebody else mentioned Cynthia G.
If you
So
answer mine first, I would love to answer yours.
should we negate all his other bodies of work? For me personally, I'm not telling you what to do, but I personally do, because he doesn't say anything new. Like the same rhetoric that has been taught to
What did
Black
he
women by.
say?
I mean, if y'all will let me play the clip, I can give you that. Or
That's a
but it's
copyright strike. That's
no,
against
it's not. This
copyright.
trust me, this person actually would love it if this was to you guys.
Hey, dog, don't let nobody play you like that, dog. Don't let nobody play nobody else content on your
And it goes
show,
against
man. You got over 100 something. Now, if it was the Simp Police Academy, you can play whatever the hell you want to. But dog, don't let nobody play you like that. And you sitting on 106,000 subscribers, bro. I'm just gonna stay out of it.
I mean, that's cool. Then I won't play it. But then in that case, yeah, please let me continue. The answer to that question is.
Can you tell us what he said? Can you quote it?
So he pretty much said that
Okay.
Black women, to summarize it, that Black women are on the end of the spectrum in terms of beauty, not just weight, but in terms of beauty. That Black women are pretty much suggesting that Black women are inferior in that. And in that entire conversation, he was talking to others, and the one person that he spoke with also agreed, and they pretty much agreed that Black women, or were suggesting that Black women were inferior women overall. So that the point that I'm bringing up is that Black women in particular aren't mad so much at the traditional. You might have some women that called him up and was like, upset about what he had to hear, but you guys mentioned it. Most of his subscribers were Black women. Women in general are more like.
You're taking that out of context.
Okay, so
You
if
took
you
that
see
quote
here,
out of context.
we're going in circles now. Now we're going in circles.
No, we're not.
You want me
It's
to
called context.
You want me to provide evidence, right? You want me to provide evidence, but you don't want me to.
And you haven't.
And I have evidence for you, but I'm not allowed to play. And but the thing is, before Dynasty played like other people's content before this live. I've seen you do that before. But it's okay. That's fine. We're going in circles. You either want the evidence or not.
What you said.
You either want to believe what you believe or not. But I'm just here to tell you guys that the reason that you guys are saying Black women are mad isn't the reason that we're mad. We're mad because we've been degraded. And that's all I have to say. So I personally,
you hadn't been degraded.
To answer Mr. Fitzgerald's question, do we negate the rest of his body of work, or so to speak? I personally will. I don't really value anything that he did. I don't think what he does or what he did is of value. And it's the same. This is pretty much the same thing that has been regurgitated through the church and through other religions, that women should be submissive. He hasn't said anything new. He was a shock jock. That was his legacy, was being a shock jock.
No, he wasn't. He was not.
And to end it out, and I'm actually about to bounce.
You're taking
everything should be submissive, and the problem when you hear submissive, what you hear is oppressed, and those two are not the same thing.
Good.
I'm actually about to bounce.
Submissive. They are not the same word.
Please bounce.
You guys can talk. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. But the end.
Oh, thanks for your permission. No, what you said was taken completely out of context. And when he says that the Black female is at the end of the spectrum, that is completely true in the eyes of white people and in the context of this white society. There's something called a socioeconomic totem pole. You have the white man is at the top.
Did you watch
the white woman? The white woman. I watched all of Kevin Samuels. The white woman is at the top. I mean, the white man is at top. Number one. The white woman and the black man is number 4. So yes, we are at the bottom in the eyes of white folks. That's all he was saying.
He wasn't. White folks
But
were even
he does
mentioned
not.
in
He
this.
does. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish?
You're right.
You don't have to mention them. There's something called implication, insinuation, and innuendo. And in the context of America, that's the hierarchy. That's the socioeconomic totem pole. If he did not like black women, why was that all he dated and married? The proof is in his actions. He dated and married black women. So he must not have, apparently he didn't think too badly about them. He always bragged about his mother. I live in Oklahoma City, and he bragged on the show, oh, I'm going back home. So don't get on here and lie about how he had black women at the bottom. If black women are at the bottom, they put themselves at the bottom. For
The only thing I can do is provide you the evidence. Outside of this is the conversation.
No, you hadn't done that. You haven't.
And I can, but I can do that. But I'm not being allowed to. You're providing
your emotion, and you're providing your emotion and your ego. You're giving us emotion and ego. You're not giving us any quotes, evidence,
you
facts,
claim that I'm giving
like
emotion
and
ego, but nobody on this panel has even tried to do this.
Data. Everybody's on this panel has done their research. I've written tons of books.
Hold on. Pass it to. Go ahead, Simple.
I'm a psychologist myself.
Hold on. This is the thing, Mr. Free. Now, I get what you're saying, and you have the right to just write off anybody that you want to. But you know what I'm saying? Plenty of black women don't agree with you. You get what I'm saying? That's just the way that it is. So I understand you saying that you wanna throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's fine. Believe me, my conversation and my assessment is harsh too. But people don't disregard everything else I'm saying because I say the word bitch and because I say the word that black women are the cheapest on the block. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's truth. It's truth in the insult. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can take it as an insult, and it's the truth. And of course, I could word things better. You know what I'm saying? I can word it to the point that you will like it. But it just doesn't matter with black people. You can talk as nice as Martin Luther King, and you'll still have people trying to take you out regardless because black people just don't like to be questioned. Right. To change that, let me change that. The only time black people like to be questioned when white people do it, when the power structure do it. You get what I'm saying? Right. Because that's how we are, and that's how we're treated as people, like we're like the grown kids of the hood. Because we'll sit up here and talk about fuck the police, and then the first thing when a woman get into it with her boyfriend, the first thing she want to do is call the police. We'll sit up here and talk about hating the government and hating the court system, but soon as a black man missed $12 on his child support payment, the first thing you're doing is walking in front of a white judge and asking him to put that black man in jail. You know what I'm saying? We're the only group of people that would want to see a person go to jail for not paying us. And that's the only law. It's only one law on the books that will make a man go to jail for not paying a certain amount of money. And even though black women only make up 22 million of the population of women, you know what I'm saying? They are number one at trying to put somebody in jail for somebody missing a payment. Now, don't get me wrong. This your right to do it. And black men should pay. But I'm telling you right now that this is why I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Because if my baby mama, if I had my kids with me and my baby mama was short on some money, it is no way in the world that I can look at my son or my daughter and tell them that, you know what, your mama was short on the payment this month. I seen her at the mall with her new boyfriend with some leggings and some Beauty Supply flip-flops on, you know what I'm saying, and yaki all the way down to her ankles, you know what I'm saying, the purple color. and I'm gonna get her locked up Monday. I'm gonna take y'all down here and y'all sit out here in the lobby while I fill out this paperwork so I can lock you up. No, the reason why black women hated Kevin Samuel because he wasn't playing simp daddy. He wasn't playing sucker daddy. He wasn't playing punk ass. He wasn't a battle bot. He wasn't gonna risk his life for you to continue your super ultra mega thought lifestyle or your super ultra mega thought lifestyle and training. He wasn't gonna be a Russell. He wasn't gonna be a Russell Resthaven Wilson. He wasn't gonna let his wife go on the internet and shake their ass and then get on the knees and start talking about Jesus and God. You get what I'm saying? That I shake my ass in the street, but long as I bring it home to you, that is whole like behavior. And that's all we have. And let me tell you, one thing I notice about women, because I got a lot of them in my family, more women than it is men in my family, that women have a whorish ways about themselves. And if you don't agree with them, they systematically start to oppress you the same way white people do. See, one thing that I give black women credit for, they are master's chicks. You know what I'm saying? So you learn how to oppress by the master. That's why when y'all go to work, y'all right on time, y'all run into the time clock in your high heels. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sit up there and give him your best. But when you come home and when you go to the street, you're looking for the first black men to try to holler at you so you can turn them down, so you can be disrespectful. That's why the gender war is so high right now, because you got simps out here that still feel like, well, what can I do? Can I risk my life for you? You know what I'm saying? Even though I got 30 kids by 6 baby mamas, you know what I'm saying? How can I risk my life for you on the first date so you can like me? You know what I'm saying? How can I kill another brother? How can I kill your baby daddy so you can make me some spaghetti? You know what I'm saying? With lukewarm goddamn meat in it. You know what I'm saying? So you got these simps that just as bad as these super ultra mega thoughts. You know what I'm saying? These husky healers do not care, because one thing that I give black women credit for, they're naturally sexy. As far as looks, you know what I'm saying? We all know that a lot of black women are husky hyenas. They built up like the nigga that I used to play right outside linebacker with. You know what I'm saying? He supposed to plug up the A-gap. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, dog. These chicks are big. They're big in the back. They're big in the waist, and they thick in the neck.
It is
hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Nobody interrupt. I'm finna show. What I'm showing you now is harsh truth, but it sounds bad. Now, you can disregard everything that I'm saying, but everything that I'm saying is the truth. And it don't matter how nice listen, I'm not even talking about black women. I'm talking about black people. It doesn't matter how nice you talk to them. It doesn't matter how much sugar or pure honey you pour on it. You can get the whole field of sugar cane and put it on black people like it's sweet, make it sweet for them. And black people will still bite your head off and try to get at you for being nice. They'll be scared of you if you be hard on them, but then they'll try to get you if you're being nice to them. I pass the mic.
I don't disagree with that.
Let me pass it to Cardi B. You want to say something, Katie B?
If I may, just like respond to him because he.
Well, I'll let you, but pass it to Katie. Go ahead, Katie.
All right, go ahead.
Well, like I said, black women in general, because we talking about black women and Kevin Samuels, they don't want to hear the truth, and it is what it is. And I'm a person that'll give you the truth straight, no chaser. I'm not a person that's gonna pretty it up for you because F your feelings. The truth is the truth, and I don't care how you slice it. If you don't like what I say, so what? It's still facts. And that's how I feel. Kevin Samuels, he brought many of statistics, many of facts, and the women didn't want to hear it because I feel like that ain't the truth. The men that I messed with all did me wrong because it's all personal. It ain't got nothing to do with the billions of people on this planet. No, it's just the 10 dudes that did you wrong now dictates all the men in the whole world. That's how
Teach.
women operate on that emotional stuff.
Katie, do you agree that Black women are inferior and less attractive and less worthy women? Do
In a
you
white
agree?
society, they are, but let's not act like in a white society that they're not.
No, I'm talking about period.
Thank you.
This is a white society, so period.
No, I'm talking about
I believe
period.
Black women are beautiful, but this is a white society. And in a white society, like Kevin Samuel said, on the dating sites, we're the last to get picked. That's factual, because they want to choose the white woman with the blonde hair.
Cotty, one second. Hold on one second. Elijah, can you stop side busting? Like, I'm really trying to hear the sister. Like, you know, can you stop doing the congregation situation? That's why I was muting you, please. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Cotty.
Okay.
Oh yeah. This is a white society, and it is what it is.
Hold on one second. Cotty, can you please repeat the? Because I brought that up yesterday. Can you please repeat the statistic when it comes to dating sites one more time?
Well, Black women are the last to be chosen on dating sites. I mean, that's factual. Why? Because the white standard of beauty is what it is. I believe that Black people are better looking than white people, but I am not society. I don't dictate what societal norms are.
And so all I'm saying is that Kevin Samuels disagreed with you.
No, Kevin Samuels actually said on dating sites, we're the last to be chosen.
Yeah, and he also said that Black women are, according to the Fibonacci or whatever the hell he was trying to quote, according to science, quote unquote, that Black women are Fibonacci sequence, thank you, that Black women are just less attractive globally. Science proves that, according to him. And so that's I was trying to get Dynast to play the video so that, you know, we're not talking around, because we keep talking around the subject.
Society.
We keep talking around the subject.
You making Cotty's point for. You making Kevin's point for him. Fibonacci is Italian. That's a white man. You making white folks points for them, and you don't even realize it.
So why is Kevin regurgitating that?
Okay, well, one second, Pastor. 1 second, Pat. Go ahead, Alan. You've been wait. Unless Fitzgerald, you got something to say. If not, Alan, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels is not always right about everything. Okay, there were plenty of things that he said that I didn't agree with. You know, in terms of encouraging people to go read and look at Thomas Sowell and all this other stuff that he was telling people to do. However, the general points that he was making were 100% factual, and anybody who listened to him were able to actually pick up things that would help them in the dating life. And you've seen many people come and say that Kevin Samuels has helped me. He's helped many men with their view of themselves, in spite of how the world talks about Black men. He's helped Black women, and families come back together. He did a lot of good, and a lot more good than he did bad. And I think the outrage that people have is because people would rather run around with a false narrative than to actually take into consideration some of the things that he was saying. Because, I mean, some of the things he was saying were just basic common sense and were things that were beneficial to all of us. You know, marry before you carry. Make sure that things like that. They're basic common sense that we used to have, and he was just trying to stem the tide and turn it back to where we used to be as a society. And the last thing I want to say is that Kevin Samuels had a much wider appeal than just Black people. There are people of all races who listened and watched Kevin Samuels. There was that one guy in England who kept on doing reviews of every video he did. There are plenty of white guys who would call in, and white women were calling in. Some of those white women would have even bigger problems with Kevin Samuels than Black women. So this way we've pigeonholed him as somebody who has made a living attacking Black women is just a false narrative that people are pushing. And we really need to stop that.
No, but he did make a profit off of women, did he not?
Well, first of all, hold on.
One mic. Afri, okay. Did Kevin Samuels force those women to call into his show every night?
Nobody said all that. I'm just saying that.
Okay, then. Okay.
Listen.
He made a
Like,
profit.
Dynasty,
They were
like.
willing
So what I'm
participants.
listen, because I gotta leave in a minute. What I'm getting here is that it doesn't matter how Kevin Samuels actually felt about black women. What matters is that he said what you wanted to hear as men. Is that correct?
Nope. Wrong. You're
No,
wrong again. You're wrong
true at
again.
all.
But
Well,
then
He
why don't we talk
he
about
had
the
he had original
actual
he had
problem,
original content.
You know, Dynasty, can I
the
ask
actual
a question?
Hold on, let Cotty go ahead, Cotty. Go ahead, Cotty.
Did you actually watch Kevin Samuels?
Who,
yes,
me?
why I'm up here.
No, I'm asking Afri.
Yes, that's why I'm up here.
Yes, you did. Okay, so you watched him from the beginning when he actually would talk about men, and then you would call in to
I
show
watched
and
all.
defend the men,
I
right?
definitely didn't
Because he
call
went
it.
in on men, right?
I
Because you're
watched
equal
it because
opportunity, right? Because you
I
believe in equality, right?
well,
So
number
you
one,
was defending the men when he was going in on them.
he didn't go in on men as much as he did on
Oh, he
women.
didn't.
Lie.
That's
Yes, he
Exactly.
you
did.
you
But
had
I
See,
guess we can
it's the
disagree.
hypocritical ways. It's the hypocritical
That's
ways,
I
right?
guess we can just
Because only
disagree
when
on
it
that,
affects
right?
you,
no
only when your
it's no
But
feelings is hurt.
disagree.
You
There's no
wasn't calling
disagree.
in to defend none of the men when he was dragging them. You didn't care about that.
Right.
But then when he
Yeah,
started
you got
speaking to your soul, because
disproved.
you got hit in the crosshairs, now suddenly he
no,
hate black
not at
women.
all.
Even though
I
he
Actually,
started
built
when
watching.
he
his
came out
channel,
with
no, let me speak. Even though he
oh, go
built
ahead,
his
love.
channel originally talking about men, which means that was his original focus. If his original focus was to go in on black women, he would have built his channel on that to begin with. He did not.
Correct. And
I
what
was
he
an original fan. I was
he
an
got
original
all his
fan of Kevin
knowledge from.
Samuels. So I was there when he was simply the style guy, right? He started off as a style guy,
Yeah, so was I.
and then he went ahead and he went in, started going in on men. You should look up a show that he did called Beta Male Incels are the problem, right? And that's when I started paying attention to him because he was going in on us, on men. And then he transitions over to the women. And then when that one clip went on Vlad TV, he blew up and exploded, right? And then he ended up with went from like 50,000 subscribers to a million in like a couple weeks. So I mean that's what happens. He never intended to go ahead and destroy black women because he says that his goal, if you listen to some of the things he said, was to bring black men and black women back together. Okay. However, he he did also go in on white women. There's a clip where he goes in on a feminist over on Fresh and Fit where they are going at it, and Kevin Samuels had her walk off. She was so mad and cursing and walking off. So it wasn't his scope was bigger than his black people. It wasn't just black women. It was what he was against was this this feminization of America. He was against this feminist doctrine and notion that men are responsible for everything that happens within relationships, and that that women bear no responsibility for the children they carry, for the lives they have. Those are the type of things that he was working against. And I thought that in some ways, because he was so entertaining and in some ways subtly flamboyant, it caught on and was effective.
So the reason that Kevin Samuels originally started talking to black women is because he spent 5 years in a space called the Black Manosphere, working with black men on improving themselves. And what he found was a lot of successful black men, who he calls high value men, were having issues on the dating scene with black women. And so when he started talking to black women, he was trying to bridge that. He was trying to create a bridge between black men and black women.
Oh shoot! Is that? Let me mute myself.
I
And we
mean,
kind
but his
a free
methods
Man,
were
take that
like
dog
a free
outside
you
and
have
do
a
the old yellow
no
to it.
his methods of doing that
a
were
free
just horrid. Like
Well, the methods
Oh my
work. The
God.
no it
methods work.
wasn't no it wasn't
no,
Because
but
a
black
hold on.
free a free
Let me
has
actually address.
you
Kevin
have
I'm not
Samuels
talking
has a
you have
about.
a
track
I'm not
feminist
talking
record.
you have
about
a
hurting people's
feminist
feelings.
you have
I'm
a
not talking about hurting.
You have a
Bruh,
feminist
has a track
agenda. You
record
have a
of
feminist
getting
y'all
agenda
have
that's not
like
gonna work. It doesn't work. It
for
doesn't fly
people
here.
who
You're
who are
trying to use
logical
a
thinkers,
white
for
woman's.
people who are logical
You're
thinkers,
trying to.
y'all like to
There's no
throw
more.
these
We
like
got the most
big
logical
words.
thinkers
And
here.
y'all don't even know.
No,
Like,
you
okay,
sound like a white
then
woman. You got a
actually,
white woman's mind.
I'm sorry.
You got a white woman's mind. You got a white
Why you
woman's
being
mind.
disrespectful, brother?
So
And
Brother, you being disrespectful, bro. Come on, man.
no, I'm not being
yeah, so it's
disrespectful at all.
like
She's
y'all
coming
tell
from a
me that I'm
white
being
perspective.
emotional, but y'all can't address. Y'all keep going
You are.
around the
95,
point that I'm trying to
95% of
make,
black
and it's like
females,
y'all even won't.
95,
Uh,
95% of black females are fat and overweight. 80 of those are obese.
95, goddamn.
75% of black female,
He said
75%
he
of
lying.
black females are
Bro, I don't know about that.
75%.
Hold on,
Dynast, come on, man.
75% of black
Hold on, Elijah, one
Ah,
mic, one
shit.
mic. I
75%
can't
of
do
black
that.
Yo,
females.
I think,
No.
no, I
Hey,
think I get the.
Hey,
no.
Afree, you right, Afree. Hey, Dynast, can I say something?
Out of curiosity, so all Kevin Samuels knowledge really originated from Shiraz Ali, a black woman from the 80s who was calling out the same issues. So was Shiraz Ali wrong?
Exactly.
Well,
No.
Right.
black women hate her
Exactly.
too, though.
According to black
Exactly.
women, she
Yeah.
was wrong because they attacked her. They call her light skinned, half yellow, all type of shit. And let me tell you something. The weird thing to sit back and listen to Miss Afree is to know that how they attack. How black women attack her. When she said what she said, black women attack how her skin color. They attacked that she was I think she was a Muslim. They attack
Right.
everything. So what I'm saying is that
Everything.
when black women go on the attack, you know what I'm saying, like a piranha, you know what I'm saying, nobody bats an eye. It's no shame at all. So that's what black women expect. Black women have evolved. I saw some comments in the chat that saying black women are the new black men, and they're right because the black men have shrunk. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong now. The black woman has the city behind them. They have the state behind them. They have the Democrat Party behind them. The only thing black men got behind them is the police and the system. It's only one
That
prize
makes them
for
a
black
white man,
men
brother. They're not a
when
black
black
man. They a
men is
white
to
man.
do something. When black men do something out of character, it's only one prize, and it is police interaction. But for a black woman, she almost flies under the radar because not only is she dysfunctioning how she acts, you got black men that just want some cheap coot de kente so bad. They want some cheap box so bad that they will glorify. A black man will sit up to listen to a black woman drag the next black man and be like, yeah, you sure is right. Men ain't shit, but can I get your number? You know what I'm saying? That's how black men is because that just we're overly sexualized. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, women are hypersexual too because there's just more of them. But if you give black men the opportunity to work 4 hours overtime or get 4 hours of sex, niggas will pick the 4 hours of sex.
I
That's
can't.
how
I can't right now. Yeah.
that's how dumb black men are. You know what I'm saying? That's how the conversation revert. So women know that the conversation reverts back when you tell a chick that's over 200 pounds with obese kneecaps and big ass thick ankles to the point that she can't even wear foot socks and she got to walk around barefooted with them goddamn rings on her toes, choking her pinky toe. You know
What
what
are
I'm
we
saying?
talking about again?
When you tell women like that with them K legs with their thighs scrubbing and their knees knocking that they are bae and they are wifey, you get what I'm saying? That you would tell her anything just to smell that box from the back. They know that they got you. And believe me, every other race of people look at it. It's for every fine black woman on the internet, it's plenty of white dudes, Chinese dudes, Arabs, everything that's watching. They see the way black men, they see black men on retired porno stars pages simping. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about 3,000 dudes don't ran up in it, and you have black men on there begging to
What
eat
the
it.
hell are we talking about again?
What I'm saying is the point is that it doesn't matter what the females do, because unless females correct other females, it's nothing that black men can do about it. So they get a free pass right now with this black woman experiment, which is the Democrat Party is doing. This is all orchestrated by the Democrat plantation, because they saw that black men was willing to vote. A large amount of us went towards either progressive, or we didn't vote, or they voted Republican. It's only the black woman. The black woman keep the black church going. The black woman keep the Democrat Party going. You get what I'm saying? The black woman keep the beauty supply shops going. Not black men. Black men will wear the same clothes, 3-4 pair of jeans, 3-4 pair of shirts. It'll be a woman that have a closet full of shit saying she ain't got nothing to wear. So the black, we always talk about the black race being the consumer. No. It's the black woman. It's the biggest consumer. That's why they promote it.
20 billion a year on fake
20
hair.
billion,
Ugly fake hair.
20 billion wearing somebody else's hair. 20 billion wearing somebody else's hair. And now you take that 20 billion on that. Now let's take black men spending $5 billion on Jordans. So that's 25 billion a year that goes to Chinese people, and 5 billion going towards Nike. That's the only thing that I would give black men credit for, that I don't see as many black men wearing Jordans as I see with black women wear leg. I can go in Walmart right now, and 99.9% of every woman in there is walking around with some Peruvian, wavy, natural body, silky shit from somebody else, from strangers' hair from other countries. That's why they're the problem. And we will not go any further than where the black woman is going. And where's the black woman? She in the Chinese nail shop. She in the Chinese beauty supply. She's at the state court pressing charges. And you know what I'm saying? And she's online yelling period. And we out here in these streets, and we don't need a black man. So we will not win. But we got these individual success stories. Dynast is an individual success story. Mr. Fitzgerald's a individual success story. We want damn sure Hustle Smart is an individual success story. I'll put my paycheck up against any of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Check the check. But the thing about it is, individual success stories. Individual success stories don't help nobody but my kids, Dynast kids, and Mr. Fitzgerald kids. We want to bring black people along, but we can't help people that don't want to help themselves. Any man that want to follow his sexual appetite 24 hours a day and don't want to put no plan for his business, further getting diversifying his portfolio, is a lost cause. And women has no intentions on it, because they can go spend all their money, and this is super ultra mega Russell Westhaven nigga, they gonna sit up there trying to get them $40. I pass the mic.
Mr. St. Police, thank you for that. But something I want to add to it, and this is speaking to the audience as well as the whole panel. And you brought up a very good point. Okay, I hear you about that. But one thing that also needs to be contributed to your message, if black men, because those of us who are not in that foolishness to partake in it, and could care less about it, rather walk alone within that foolishness. If black men of that caliber calls this stuff out, we are mostly vilified by that type of woman as hate speech. In the media, the courts, especially the media, will back them on the level that they will back gay, the so-called speaking something different opinion against gays, or that lifestyle, or transgenders, that lifestyle. It's almost like if you try to do something that will say call bad out-of-pocket behavior wrong, it's also like you're bashing, you're being sexist and disingenuous and all that kind of stuff, and that definitely has to change too. And the silence of the silencing of our voices especially within a black community, that's over with. And then with channels like this, we don't really need a CNN or NPR or a Fox News to really get our message, because it's been proven, they're not going to do anything but paint us in bad lights anyway. If it's women's rights, if it seems like no matter how outlandish behavior is, okay, that's cool. Someone like myself say something against it, someone like you, someone like Amir say something against, all of a sudden we're the ones that's bashing. And I think that was a good deal of part of why Samuels was hated so, because he called it out. Yes, the man had flaws. Yes, I don't agree with everything what he said. I certainly don't agree a lot to deliver what he said. But after you get over that, truth stands on its own. And I've had many people talk to me. I had a few people in my life talk to me when I was out of pocket, and they delivered me some truth, and maybe in some ways I wouldn't have liked it, and I didn't like it. But nevertheless, I can't deny truth is truth, and it stand on its own.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and end it out here. I think it's dangerous for Black people to revere men and women who are dangerous, who promote like degenerate behavior, just because they say the things that we want them to say. They say the things
Who promotes degenerate behavior? Who's promoting the
or
degenerate behavior?
says things that we want to hear. It's kind of like Trump, like there's a lot of poor whites supported during
What's like Trump?
But Trump, he couldn't give a damn about the poor whites. So it's just crazy.
What does that have to do with Kevin Samuels?
That's the only thing I'm pointing out, is that we should be
Trump
careful.
have to do with Kevin Samuels?
We should be careful who we support, and that's
we already know that. We already know that. You're not saying
all right. Thank you, guys.
New.
Peace, Queen.
She gone, man. First things first, man. Prince Dynast Amir. The day we was on Brandon's show, and we had the guy from No Jumper podcast, the big podcast with Adam 21, and I think his co-host. If you saw the last show he did with Tyreek Nasheed, I think Adam 22 or Adam 21 or whatever. No Jumper podcast with like 1 million subscribers, and he was saying that he wanted to get more people on there. And Brandon, he made sure to drop your name, and Kyla's name, far as people that can come on, that maybe can come on the show and give some insight about people that talk about the good and the bad of the Black race, and show how we can invest and where to invest at, and not only about investing in America, but how much easier it will be to invest in other people that look like you, might not think like you. So I just wanted to let you know that, as as a Pan-African brother, that people are trying to get your message, and the things that you're doing on bigger platforms, so we can reach more people. And I just want to shout out to Brandon for doing that. I don't know if you did that or not, but I think the guy name is something Flocka or whatever. If you watch the Jump, Adam 22, Adam 21, the show, you'll see that guy on there. He was on Brandon's show today, and he made it his business to make sure that the guy looked up your information and I gave him the website and whatever, and he looked up your information and Kyla, because he wanted to have people on the show that would talk, that would not have a narrative to push. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people that come on the show has a narrative to push, or they having something to gain. And because only thing you trying to gain is that you can bring more people to in a unit environment, that we can seek the same information, hear the same information, and digest the same information. I just wanted to add that in there, bro.
Oh, I appreciate it, brother. Fitzgerald, anything else you want to say? I want to go ahead and close out.
No, no. I really enjoyed the different. It is somewhat refreshing to hear the different opinions
Perspectives.
in the viewpoints. Listen, not all of us have the answers, and a lot of times we are speaking from our upbringing, our experiences. You can't divorce that from the narrative. I think all of us want to see progress within the community. How that progress is achieved, we may all have some different, but I think we have more similar methods. My distinguished colleague, Mr. St. Police, Fitzgerald loves the black community. He doesn't give up hope, and he's right about that. I don't even think too much. I do. I mean, I feel that in my soul. But you can't take everyone with you. You can't take everyone with you and everything. We're going to have different ways to look at things, but I think we all want solutions. Now with the clock ticking, and with so few channels like Prince Amir taking a stand, like the content of his show, and many other content creators. We want to be able to have a platform to say what is our things. What are we thinking? I don't believe we should bring outside sources in and that talk about the black community, especially if they ain't black. I mean, what do you know? I mean, you go to school, you get a little certificate, psychology degree, but you know what? I'm more qualified infinitely more than all of y'all combined, because I've been black in this country for 57 years. I know that subject matter, and so what we're trying to do is talk, and some people can take it disrespectful. Some people, are not going to be. The more mature you are, the more you're able to overlook insults, the more you're able to overlook difference of opinion, the more you're able to overlook voice tones. We're trying to see how can we win together. If that involves my strategy, well, hell, I don't really believe I can win. But why these cats? Let me go down to Panama City, Panama, let me just go down there somewhere and settle down there. Let me go. I got my loan. That's my way of winning. If another person's like, hey, let's go ahead and take elected this power to black men and the power to black woman and the power of this, that's cool. But I don't see what I don't see the constant back and forth at our throats is how that benefits anyone's except our enemies. Now, who benefits from our families being fragmented? Who benefits from our women being at our men's throat, and men being at dismissive of our women? Who benefits from that? There's whole industries out there that make billions off our dysfunction. They make billions off our dysfunction. We ain't making anything off of it. So we have to ask ourselves the hard questions. And you know what? And talk is over. Talk is over. For you men and women, I respect you, but you guys have your opinion. That's great, but I believe in self-preservation first. No, I definitely believe it. I believe that on the first magnitude level. You can't. All you could do is just take care of yourself. If people of your like mind try to join with you with your causes, okay, maybe you can incorporate. Maybe you can incorporate them along. But those of you who are taking care of yourself, are about there building instead of talking, that grassroots is out there, and many people are successful with it. I salute you. But I don't believe you can take care. I don't believe you can save everybody. I don't believe everybody want to be saved. And I do believe that many people who look like us are in fact worse enemies than the supremacists who we know. At least that we know about them, but the ones who have that same mindset of hey, the black family, you can't do nothing for me, and I ain't going to do it. Well, that's them. Leave them to H alone and go about your business of living. So I appreciate you let me on the show again, Dynast. It's always a pleasure. I said to my friend, and I made a point to him yesterday. Not only is Dynast a friend of mine, but I am a fan of his channel. I've watched his channel many times when he's not on. I don't necessarily comment every time, but like that, I watch it a million times to learn, to support my friend, and you know, and just to realize I don't have all the answers. And just because I disagree with you, and just because I sit around there, does not make me your enemy. If you choose to do that, that's your business. But you know, you're not going to pull me down to a level that I choose to hate you. You're not worth that with me. And so for everyone who contribute on this, and I respect that, and I really look at that. I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to learn. And at my age right now, I'm still trying to learn. I'll be forever grateful for Prince Dynast Amir for letting me see a perspective of Africa that I did not know, and I did not realize, and I thought it was totally not like this. And on my final sentence, when I left the farm, when I left the farm at 18 down in Alabama, my first, you know, I'm a University of Alabama grad, yeah, but a lot of you guys don't know I started my first year off at Alabama State, a historical black college in Montgomery, and I took an arts class. And I did not know that the ancient Egyptian people were black until I looked at that art. Not only did my mom and dad never tell me, maybe they didn't know anything like that, but because I told my teacher I was exposed to Elizabeth Taylor and Charlton Heston. I thought that was the Egyptians. Then I shortly after that, I developed a love of black art and black culture, and especially when I found out who we were. Budweiser and Ebony. Budweiser had a series, the ad campaign they were running Ebony magazine. I'm talking about when Ebony magazine was like huge. You know, it was like a huge publication back then, not only in content but in size. And Budweiser did Black Kings and Queens of Africa. You know, I remember seeing that series, and slowly and gradually things started changing. But it wasn't until Amir, it wasn't until my friend, you know, went out there and created this search for Uru and actually had boots on the ground that I started seeing a whole nother different side of the culture and everything, and it gave a longing in my heart. And so I appreciate him for doing that. I appreciate him for bringing this content. I appreciate Simp Police, man. I love your honesty. I love your yours and Brandon, which I'm beginning to think you two are the same, one and the same, but that's another conversation.
I appreciate that, my brother, and your knowledge also.
Now we're all trying to. Anything I would ask you guys, none of us are children on here. And you know, this content can be family friendly when you get children who want to learn. But we're trying to learn. So my philosophy is this: if Simp Police is telling me truth, if Mr. Sharp is telling me truth, if Miss Cotty is telling me truth, who in the heck cares about how she delivered it? Truth is truth, especially if I'm hungry to learn and hungry to improve. And that's what we have to look at. If Miss Afri is telling me truth, especially especially if it's feeding me far as like that, you know, feeding where I'm trying to get to. No, so on that note, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your contributions. To those of you, the audience, who talk about, why don't you talk about gays, and why don't you talk about this, and well, hell, we can't talk about everything. You know, we can't talk about, you know, why don't you talk about the download bill? What the hell that got to do anything? We'll talk about different stuff. You know, we can make another show like that. And my irritation and my temper is activated by stupidity and rudeness. You know, and so what we're trying to do is learn. How can we come together? Dynast, Simp Police, Pan-Africanists, these are guys who I know much better than the Mr. Elijah, Mr. Sharp. But my thing is, the number one thing I have to take care of is myself. The number one thing you have to take care of is yourself and your family. You have to take care of your legacy, your lineage, and keep in mind, you can't keep pulling and looking back for people who don't want to go, or people who are going at a slow pace to you and expect to keep your position. That's my thing. We are responsible individuals, personal responsibility. I talk about that. The number one key statement on my channel, 5 Ways to Win with Fitzgerald Stevens: personal responsibility, putting in the work, and, you know, being out there. If I have time, if I could go and say, hey, Mr. Sharp, man, listen, you know, here's my email address, Find ways to win at Fitzgerald. Find your ways to win at gmail.com. Hey man, based on how you were speaking, you seem to have a little knowledge about
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Mr. Sharp, you got the background playing. You got the replay playing. You got to turn that off, Mr. Sharp.
I turned it off.
You seem to have a degree of knowledge and understanding I possess. How are you doing? Okay, Miss Caddy, it rather than me getting on there here about a whole bunch of men, talk about the mind of a woman, how would you think? Could you please ask your husband if I got permission, to bring you on my show sometime, just to even talk like that? Because hell, I don't know how to talk to another woman. You're obviously a master with that subject, and Mr. Simp, please, man, you build a business. How you do it? Because that has to be the key component, the major key component. If I'm going to divest myself in it, I need to be self-sufficient in my income. Talking to people who have knowledge and experience and what you need to do. I appreciate you, man. I love each and every one of you guys. I really do. Some of your ways I don't love. Some of your little pettiness and chattiness I don't love. And that mostly comes from some of the comments from the audience. But still, then I'm going to look at that differently. Maybe there's some truth in the craziness right there. I'm just trying to be a better man with the time that the Most High has given me on His earth in order to live. I want to produce something, and I want to produce something that lasts. Dynast, thank you for having me on your show, man. I appreciate you.
No problem. Hey, Russell Sharp, you've been waiting. Go ahead, Russell.
All right. I love Kevin Samuel. He was telling the truth. A lot of people in our community can't handle the truth, but then you have different levels. You got the middle class, you got the lower middle class, then you got the upper class. So the problem is you got people that gain money. They might have came from just, let's say, the hood, and they're not financially literate, but they came into some money. So now they feel like, well, I make $200,000-$300,000 a year. I can date this type of chick. No, you can't. For one, you don't have the social skills to date that type of chick. For two, you know what I'm saying? Just because you get money don't mean you got the skills to date that type of person. And I think that's what we have in a mix. Simp Police talk about it, how we having a different mix of different groups dealing with different groups. And it ain't supposed to be that way. And for number two, we can save our neighborhood if we want to. We just need some men to step up and start an SOS camp. And you know what I mean? Save our young boys and young girls. Teach them how to be men. Teach them all the possibilities, all the opportunity that they got in this world to succeed no matter what neighborhood they come from. I would love to do it myself, but at the time I got my 3 grandboys, so I must teach them how to be men, how to be productive in society, how to respect themselves, how to pull up their pants. We don't walk with our pants down. We're not girls. We pull up our pants. We put a bet on. We know how to pay 3 bills. We know how to pay rent, light bill, and life insurance policy. Those are the main 3 you need to learn before you leave the house. Those are basic. You can pay them in California, LA, New York. You ain't got them with 3 bills to pay. So how you tell me a joker laying there and don't know how to pay 3 bills? You ain't got number 3 bills. That's rent, light bill, and life insurance. Or whether you can say mortgage, no more than 5 bills. I don't see how a man don't know how to pay 5 bills. It's just like Simp Police say. They can jump in a truck and go make $250,000, $300,000 a year.
Easy
work.
money.
See that they can do it, but they don't know. They don't know Simp Police. They don't know. Ain't nobody told them. They don't have the common sense to know.
Mr. Sharp, see, it ain't. Only thing I disagree with you about is that they don't know. The problem is that they know they don't want to leave the nest. Black men are so hypersexual on sex. You know what I'm saying? That they want to just stay around the hood and the areas trying to do all day with black. You got the average black man will try to holler at 20 or 30 chicks a day. You know what I'm saying? Just to get 1 or 2 of them to come by on the weekend. They have no intention to do what I do to make the type of money I make is easy. Now, I would never say that the money that I make makes me high value. It does not. What makes me high value is that I pay for my daughter's college. She don't have to get no loans. I pay for everything that my son do. Child support, everything. I do not play the role with either one of my baby mamas. period. So therefore, I developed a good working relationship, and we're like the CEO and the CFO. Of course, she's the CEO because she got the kids full time. I'm the CFO. I'm just the nigga that throw money at the situation. And I know a lot of people say, you know, money ain't everything, but that's what broke niggas say. Let me tell y'all about something about money. When you stand in neighborhoods where houses are $300,000-$400,000 or better, you can't go in that neighborhood and talking that dumb shit. Even when I'm closing deals, when my yearly contracts is up and I'm closing deals, one thing I never hear white people or Arab people that own in these companies, even though they religious, walking in there with their hijab, the women walking the hijabs on or whatever, they never bring up race. It's all about facts, bottom line, what you can bring, cost of doing business. All that other side. Go ahead, Mr. Sharp.
Let me ask you something. How do I get in contact with you?
Oh, that's easy, man. That's easy. Appreciate that. For the shame, this is a shameless plug. All you got to do is go to the Silk Police Academy. Go to my YouTube channel, and right there at the top is my email right there. I can give it to you. I can give it to you now. But what I'm saying, it's easy for you to go to the D, just like my name, D Silk Police Academy. As soon as you click on it, you'll see my email right there, and you can contact me, and I'll point you in the right direction.
Okay,
like,
I want to say it's some young brothers I want to save because I know they don't know. And you know, I live in Southwest Georgia. You know, it's like a farm town.
What part?
Southwest Georgia. I live in Moultrie, Georgia.
Oh, I know where Moultrie at.
All right. Well, it's a lot of my homeboys that don't know. And I'm telling you they don't know. But I know that they would love to get to the money like you get to. And I know it's a lot of them. But I know they lost. They think they city boys, and I've been telling them, you ain't nothing but a country boy, a farm time boy. You know, I've been in Atlanta a lot of times, so you know.
Well, I definitely can plug those guys in like this. Even though with my business, it's more of the bottom level that where you can make $270,000 to $250,000 to start. Now, me, I'm a workaholic. I'm old. I got bad knees. I got a bad back. So I work harder than the younger guys. But when these younger guys come off the street, these are black men that ain't never had a job in their life, and they can come off the street.
These here work now. They from Southwest Georgia. These here work.
Well, see, that's even better. So they got some type of track record. But what I'm saying is, even at the base, we talking about the bottom, you will start off making at least $70,000 a year. And to this day, when all black people, I hear black people in the comments. I mean, I read the comments. I hear what they saying. I hear how the women is talking shit, and everybody's asking for a solution. I'll tell you what the solution is.
Hold on, let me show you how to flip it. Let me show you how to flip it. Simple.
Go ahead, Mr. Sharp.
What you need to do is come get these country boys. I was gonna tell the women to come get the country boys at 6'5". We got a lot of homeboys that down here 6'5".
Right.
These country girls don't know what to do with them. They don't do them but mud them out. They don't know what to do with them. But if you was to come down here in the Southwest Georgia, I promise you'll get a lot of working young men. Once you tell them that number, 270. I know they got to be an owner operator. Once you tell them that number,
no, they don't have to. They can lease. They can lease. You can lease and make 70 to 100 after everything go by. You know, once you own it, that means that you own everything. You know what I'm saying? Own your trailer and everything. I leave my trailer at a store. My trailer is not. Anybody watch my videos? Y'all go to the Silk Police Academy. Y'all will go on there and y'all will see a story of a person with ain't graduated from nothing. I've been out in the street since I was 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? I went from the projects to the streets, to the trap, to prison, to owning my own business. And my house is bigger. My house is bigger than anything that I was raised up around. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it's a lot of young men I would love to get you in contact with.
Right.
And that's why I need your email, because I need you to tell them your testimony. And I know they'll listen to you. If they don't listen to me, they'll listen to you because you're young. listen
I
to
done
you.
been through it. I done been through it, and I'm still going through it. And then on top of that, what's so good about with things about Brother Fitzgerald and Brother Dynasty is when you hear people and they're talking the same lingo, you're not dealing with people that are talking down to you. They're talking to you, and that's what we don't do in the Black community. You can see it on this channel and in the other channel. It's a lot of Black people that's talking down on you, and there's a lot of Black people that's trying to sell you something. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to sell you something too, but I'm a hustler. So it's an even exchange. Once I sell you something, you got something tangible to go home and do something with. I'm not selling you entertainment. I'm not selling you less watching. I'm not selling you a conference. You get what I'm saying? I'm selling you ways. Go ahead, my brother.
I'm finna go find a couple of my young homeboys and get them onto this, because this will save their life, man, making this kind of money, man, and just sitting around doing nothing. But they'll work. I know they'll work. They got common sense to drive. They'll work. They got their license. But the ones that is on the road, they ain't informing them when they come back. Hey, man, you ain't got to do that. You can come out here and make $70,000 to $270,000 a year just driving these trucks, man.
Doing the same thing. Only thing it is that the person have to be responsible. That's the one thing that I learned.
No, they're responsible to go to work. You know they're responsible to do their thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's those things. It's those things to where, you know, and you got to be smart enough to keep up. Because listen, once you get in transportation by yourself, that means that you have to keep up with everything. You have to keep up with every receipt. You have to keep up with all of this stuff. Have to be done in an organized manner. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. And I'm telling you that nobody taught me how to do it. You know what I'm saying? One thing I did, I went to Office Depot, and you know what I'm saying, I found little folders. I found the folder that had 12 months folder in it, and I bought me 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? There was only $12 a piece. If I can go buy $150 pair of Jordans, if I can go spend $150 at a restaurant, why would I not spend $150 on an organizer to keep all my bills and receipts separate, and all I have to do is turn them in to the accountant? Or you can either, you know, Black people love Jackson Hewitt and H&R Block. They charge you an extra $100, but if you bring them all the paperwork in, that's it. And of course, if you're making that much money, you don't get nothing back in taxes. You know what I'm saying? What you do is, by all your deductions, you lower you lower how much money you get taxed about. And of course, if you own your own truck, or you own your own property, or you own your own house, you can get that money back. So that was the second thing I did. Was after I started working for myself, I immediately bought a house, because I can file that house on my taxes. When you stay in apartments, you know how Black people, we like to rent from 20, 30 years. You know, you don't own anything. You know what I'm saying? And then we can't tell each other anything. Then white people come in there and tell you got to get up out of there in 30 days. Now you want to start talking about white Jesus, and now you want to send messages. Now you want to send money to TD Snakes. You know what I'm saying? Or at the Snauder's house, and now you want to pray to white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? This is the backward way of thinking. I just want our people, when we conduct business, Mr. Sharp, is to conduct business without the superstition.
Let me help you out. The first thing, the first
hey guys, let's do this. I'm about to close out. I have to run, but you guys connect offline, and then we can always do another show talking about this.
Okay. I appreciate you, though, Dynas. You're a good brother.
No problem, brother.
You're a good young brother. Everyone. I love what you do, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, everyone.
All right, I'm finna get on your channel now, Simp.
I'll be waiting for your email, my brother.
All right,
sir. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror Search for Who Will Be.
We gone.
Peace.